So I was originally going to have my AEW Grand Slam video out today, but that's going to be pushed back to tomorrow because I just find this whole story so funny, so stupid, so ridiculous, that I needed to talk about it. Hello and welcome to FTTR, I am Hugh McQuaid, and today we are talking about WWE versus AEW in American Gladiators. That's right, of all the things to cause tension, to cause beef, to cause agitation, whatever you want to say, it is American Gladiators. This is seemingly the battlefield in which this war is being fought, and it is so unbelievably funny, unbelievably petty, and just really funny. I can't state how funny I found this, because when it first broke, this news, I was like, that's just ridiculous. And then a bit more's come out, and it's gotten a little bit more ridiculous, and we're going to dive into all that in just a little moment. But before we do, please subscribe, please like this video, please comment your thoughts down below, and I'll try to reply to every single one of them as we dive into this, starting with Gladiators in general. So I was never a Gladiators guy. I think this was a bit before my time. This was sort of like the 90s, but British culture and people who were around in the 90s worship gladiators. Gladiators make appearances at conventions and Comic-Cons. They are really, really big here in the UK. It's something we are so unbelievably fond of, is the concept of gladiators, and that is lots of beefy men and women knocking each other off stuff. It's like Total Wipeout kind of thing. Total Wipeout was my Gladiators, people. That's right, Total Wipeout was my Gladiators. And in doing research, yes, I did research for this video, I have found that the American Gladiators was before the British one. I didn't know that. I thought the Gladiators were completely British, and, you know, the Americans just took our idea and probably made it worse, like this and like this. So, yeah, I was pretty interested to see that this was a US concept. I think that's pretty cool, pretty interesting, and it seems it's failed multiple times. It seems they tried to reboot it multiple times, once in 2008 and now in 2025. And in 2025, they are getting The Miz to host. I think that's pretty good. Like, I like The Miz as a personality. He does come off as a little bit unlikable, but I think when he's in talk show mode, you know, he can do it. He can do A-lister. He's a good presenter and a good person to fit the vibe that is probably going to be American Gladiators. But where the controversy comes in here is with who some of the gladiators are. Now, I don't think they've got badass names yet. I don't know if they're keeping their names, because here in the UK it used to be like Strike and Weapon and Axe and like really cool names like that. But here, some of the competitors, namely Kamille and Wardlow, are part of AEW, and they will be competing as the gladiators on this show, as two of the gladiators on this show. And according to reports, one side is a little bit upset about this and having the crossover that is WWE and The Miz with Kamille and Wardlow. And I'll give you one guess as to who that side is. You've got, 3 seconds to figure it out. I'll wait. You're right. It's WWE, because of course it is. And if you even try and deny this, let's look at some of the evidence. Have you ever seen a WWE talent, contracted talent, appear on a WWE show? No. Have you ever seen an AEW talent appear on a WWE show? Yes. Chris Jericho was on the Broken Skull Sessions. Paul White, Bryan Danielson, and Chris Jericho Skyped in for John Cena's farewell 20th anniversary thing that he did. It's happened, I don't think AEW are too bothered about this. I think they're perfectly fine with having Wardlow and Kamille on Gladiators with The Miz. But WWE are apparently not. And I think this is just so stupid. So stupid. This is like, I've been trying to figure out the best way to phrase this, but it's like DC not letting Ryan Reynolds do a film with Robert Downey Jr. and the film has nothing to do with Marvel or DC. like, it just baffles me that they have got some kind of thing where they don't want The Miz to interact with other AEW stars, other AEW talents. Like, we live in the age of social media where you've got pictures like this, and like this, and like this, where it's easily accessible to a lot of people, and we can all see that wrestlers are, they're friends. They post pictures with one another. It's a shared industry. People want to go and support each other. People want to go and post pictures with one another. Being on the same TV show as someone is not that big of a deal. It's not that big of a deal in the slightest. And I think that the sort of weird pushback and weird just reaction in general from WWE to some of this stuff, I obviously did a big video on the counter-programming of AEW, which is unnecessary overkill and hasn't really worked. So I think that this is just so stupid. I don't understand why they seem to think that this is going to harm them in any sort of way to be associated with AEW. We don't want to promote AEW. Well, guess what? You're not the ones who are doing the promoting, because as far as I'm aware, and I've double checked this, so I am aware, this is going to be on Amazon Prime, which has nothing to do with WWE. WWE is not on Prime. They're not affiliated with Prime. Nothing of the sort. They just have someone who is contracted with them on the show, and seemingly he can just do whatever he wants because he's not doing anything wrestling related. So of course he can do, hosting jobs here, there and everywhere, and do the Marine 7 and stuff like that. So they have no skin in the game, if you get me. So why would they be getting pissed that AEW stars are on the same show as The Miz? And not even that, they're not even competing with The Miz. The Miz is a host. I would slightly understand if it was like, say, who's a big beefy boy in WWE at the moment? Amos. Say Amos was one of the gladiators and he was in there with Wardlow and Kamille, and there was a chance he might lose. I would understand a fraction more, not a lot, because it's not wrestling and it's gladiators, but I would understand a fraction more of being a little bit peeved. They're not competing with The Miz. The Miz is not going to be a gladiator here. So why the big issue? So yeah, I just found this really, really funny, and that comes paired with something that I have just seen while recording this video, and that is that WWE apparently requested a edited trailer of Happy Gilmore 2 with MJF cut out of it. Again, that is also, asinine, stupid, pointless, because now it just draws more people's attention to the fact that you had MJF cut out of it. And I think for the wide population, they probably don't know who MJF is. They probably don't know who Becky Lynch is. Two wrestlers who are in, the same film. They're completely fine with Happy Gilmore having MJF and Becky Lynch in, but they're not fine with this whole Gladiators thing as well. Make it make sense. It doesn't. So they cut MJF out of the trailer. For what reason? What reason? They've drawn more attention to this than I think they wanted to, and that seems to be WWE's thing, is they draw attention to things that weren't going to get picked up at all. If they just aired the regular trailer, no one would have complained. If they'd have just let The Miz host Gladiators, no one would have picked up on this at all. They thought, oh, it's The Miz with Wardlow and Kamille. It is what it is. I think as well, sorry, I've just, as far as I'm aware, with the Gladiators thing as well, they're not, I'm sure they're characters. I don't even think they're probably going to talk about AEW, because I think they're playing characters with cool names. So I don't understand, they probably won't even bring up AEW. It makes no sense. It makes no sense, and it's just the most mind-boggling, stupidest, funniest, most bizarre story probably of the year right now. And yeah, I think WWE just need to just grow up. That's it. Grow up. Get alive. If WWE was a person, I'd say grow up, get alive, go outside. That's my thoughts. That's my thoughts on this weird weird situation, and I want to know what you guys think down in the comments below. Let me know all your thoughts on American Gladiators. This probably won't do very well. Not many people are going to watch this video, but let me know your thoughts on American Gladiators, and I'll try to reply to every single one of them. Thank you all ever so much for your support, and have a nice day.